People of YouTube, it's Adam. What's going on? The last time you saw me, I was looking at a 35-acre chunk of land. I'm going to fill you in on that. And I'm also going to give you some tips if you're thinking about doing this and fill you in on the next steps for me. I was going to do this video outside, but a massive amount of snow has fallen today and it is still falling out there. And so I'm doing it inside and I'm staying nice and cozy. So let's rewind a little bit. The last time you'd seen me, I was looking for land. I was looking at this awesome 35-acre chunk of land, but it didn't end up happening because before I could really put in an offer, somebody was boom in there and the place was gone before I could even think about it. So it's gone, and I was picking up the pieces and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to wait for more listings to show up. Sweet, another one showed up, 45 acres in a really good location, really good price. Before I could look at that one, before I could even get there, it was gone. So it's sort of a war zone out there, and there hasn't been much since. Here's the deal. If I wanted to just get some remote cabin land, there's actually quite a bit of that around. Not hard to find. The deal is, like in Canada, if you want remote land, you can build a hunt camp there, which is basically just a cabin you can stay in once in a while. But you can't build a house. So, and usually that land is also really cheap, and it's also really hard to get to. I'm not looking for that kind of land though. I want something where I could build a house, like a bigger place. That could be a home base, That has a different set of criteria. So this is the thing. When I built my first cabin, for a house, I wouldn't have wanted to stay in that spot for a bunch of different reasons. So my criteria has changed. I just want to give you a couple pointers. If you're thinking about doing this out there, which I'm sure some of you are, if you're looking for a place to live, year-round, more or less, a home base, out in the country, out in the rural areas, out in the woods, here's a couple things to know. Not all places are very quiet. Don't be near the highway if you want to be in peace and quiet. There's a lot of two-lane highways around these listings you might be looking at. Don't be near a two-lane highway. People are zooming past, trucks are zooming past at 100 kilometers an hour, 80 miles an hour, and it's going to be like you're living, back in the city or worse. It's actually louder if that's near you than a lot of places in town. So you don't want to be near that. And this is criteria for myself, which I'm looking for too. You don't want neighbors nearby, or at least I don't. If you have a neighbor right near you, out in the country, they could have a woodworking shop, they could have 5 dogs, they could shoot their guns off a lot, they could have ATVs, snowmobiles, they might like to work on their engines, which means a lot of revving randomly. You don't want to be near that either, or at least, again, I don't. This is just pro tips. So when you're looking at these listings, be really picky about what's around them. And you have to keep in mind too that if you're in the rural areas, people have chainsaws, people have riding lawnmowers, people have tractors, on and on it goes. So the more people around you, the more noise you're gonna get. So when I'm looking for listings, I'm very considerate about all these things. And so this is why I'm taking my sweet time on this one. So right now, as it stands for me, I have a couple options. I can either up my budget, I can wait until spring, or I can lower my standards for the piece of land I'm gonna buy if I want something like right away. And the best of those options, I think, would be a bit of two. A bit of waiting and a bit of upping my budget. So I don't want to overpay for land, but it seems that today, as it stands, you need to spend more money than you think to get something that you really like. And fair enough, I guess I'm gonna have to maybe do that, and I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna get anything good this month, but if another listing comes up, I will show you, I will take you along on the journey on a promising piece of land again, and we'll see if I get it or not. But that's how it stands for me. Right now, right here, I've got a simple life. I've got my own little tiny place. If you live out in the suburbs yourself, or if you live in a tiny apartment like me, I'm in a tiny little studio here. That thing behind me is my bed. I put the old logs from my cabin on it just to make it feel more woodsy in here. And it actually does, it helps. But life is simple in here. That massive snowfall we have right now is not my priority, it's not my problem to clean up. That's all paid for in the city, which is really nice. So there's less chores to do, which means I can focus on music, which the song you're hearing in this on the video right now is one of mine. That's my big passion. That's always been my passion. That's always been what I've done. And I don't have to worry about building or cleaning or chores. I can just focus on music right now, which is great. once the house begins to build, my priorities will have a hardcore shift in them. But this is a simple life. I actually made a video on, you know, condo versus cabin. If you're wondering about this too, like the cabin life is really romanticized about being, you know, simple. Same with the homestead life. Same with the house, build your own house. You know, all this stuff is made to be like, oh, it's so simple. No, that's not the case. It actually complicates your life a little more than you'd think. Right now I have simplicity, so I'm soaking it up, and I'm not going to trade this until I have something really good lined up. Thanks for following along for the journey. Like I say, I'm working on an album right now about the Canadian Arctic. So if you're from Canada, or if you're a lover of landscapes, you'll really enjoy this. You can follow me on Spotify, or just follow my personal YouTube channel if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I will see you at the next video here, and I'll let you know when I have a good listing lined up that meets my criteria, and you know, it makes me happy when I'm actually walking on it, not like drives me crazy. You have to pay attention to your gut in these sorts of things. So until next time, folks, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.